Hey everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to paint this 2023 painting and talk about some of the goals that I have for the year on a personal level and for my business, Audrey Ra Design. Painting the numbers like this has kind of become a tradition. I did my first one in 2020 and then I did two versions in 2021. And I searched high and low for my 2022 painting, but I can't find it. I think in the midst of moving my studio, it just got lost. I probably accidentally threw it away, but that's okay. It's a new year and I'm really excited. So grab your paint, grab your brushes, and let's paint this together. So you can see that I very lightly wrote the numbers 2023, and I actually traced this onto the paper using my iPad. I simply added a text on the Procreate app, placed it underneath this sheet, turned the brightness all the way up, and then I just lightly wrote it. I'm going to use the size 1 and size 3 Creative Mark Mimik round brushes. And you know me, I love to paint leaves, so that's what I'm going to concentrate on. I'm going to use my spray bottle. You know what, maybe I'll add some blueberries in there, so I'll spritz my blues. I end up spraying the whole pan anyway. Okay, I'm gonna start with the round size 3 brush and let's mix a couple colors. So I like this, this bright phthalo green. I don't usually use it straight from the palette because it's just very bright. So I'm just gonna move it to this area, wash out my brush. Then I'm going to neutralize this a little bit and mute it down. I'm going to add a little bit of like a reddish brown. And then it'll become like a really nice deep like olive kind of color. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And if you ever don't know what your paint color is going to look like, because sometimes it looks different on the palette, right? So you can just use a scrap piece of paper and then just kind of test it out. Water it down so you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more of that brown and I think I'm good. Okay, I just mixed up a little bit more of that. Going to get rid of some of the excess water and then paint some of the larger elements first. I like to paint my leaves like really large to start with. And that'll just really help me establish the shape. And I try to get up as close to the pencil edges as I can. I'm going to erase these pencil lines later, so it's really helpful if you paint some of your elements like halfway so that they look like they're just peeking out. I'm going to do about 3 elements for each number. So what are some goals that you have for 2023? For me personally, well, this is actually personal and business because, because the nature of my business is that I work from home, my office is at home. One of my goals is to really have a better life-work balance. And sometimes my husband also works from home. Yeah, and so it would be great to, still make this home feel like a home rather than, yeah, just a place where you work. Okay, I'm gonna do the same, but then with a lighter color. I'm gonna take a little bit of this yellow-green color that I have. And I don't mind how it looks right now. I think it'll be a nice contrast to the cool green, to this darker green that I just mixed up. I'm gonna do the same types of leaves, but just in a different color. And again, I'm doing 3 sets. Another goal of mine is to obviously grow on this channel. I hit 1,000 subscribers in November and I really want to grow some more. So it would be really helpful if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other stuff. And if you have comments on what you want me to paint or what you'd like to see, if you're just curious about my process or my studio, yeah, please drop a line. I'd love to hear from you. Another goal that I have is to publish 2 Skillshare classes. And if you didn't know, I am a top teacher on Skillshare, yay. And you can find a lot of my classes there. The majority of them are watercolor, but I do have a few on calligraphy. I also have one on journaling. I've been teaching on Skillshare since 2017, and producing classes is something that I still really love to do. I love how this shape is kind of coming together. I'm going to do one more of this same type of leaf in a different color. I love this Chromium Oxide green, but I want a slightly lighter value. So I'm just watering it down. And then try to fill in the remaining gaps. Another exciting goal that I have for myself in 2023 is to learn gouache. I did a review of the Holbein gouache a while ago, and for some reason it has like a ton of views, so that's pretty cool. But I feel like gouache is the next step after watercolor. The biggest difference between the two is that watercolors are transparent and gouache is not. Although you can make gouache transparent just by adding water, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of, using gouache to its fullest. So I really want to learn gouache. And maybe the next step after that will be to learn acrylic gouache. You know that my paint brand is LUKAS, and I actually have the LUKAS gouache as well. So I think I will come out with another product review on the LUKAS gouache. All right, next let's take I'm taking some ultramarine blue. I'm going to mix just a little bit of purple into it because it's a little bit too blue. I'm going to switch to my size 2 brush. And then just add clusters of 2 to 3 berries in various spots. And these you can definitely, place right at the edges. Can make them various sizes to help fill in the space a little bit more. I like to leave just a little bit of white space to show a highlight. Okay, the rest of the spaces, I'm going to use just lighter values of these first 2 leaves. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I'm using my size 2 brush, and I'm just going to do single leaves and fill it in. And again, with these, you definitely want to try to get as close to the edges as you can. Because again, we're going to erase that pencil line, and we don't want any of it showing up. And lastly, my other 2023 goal is to continue to explore digital art. A few years ago, I did come out with a set of Procreate brushes on how to paint loose florals, and I haven't exercised those digital art muscles in such a long time, so I really want to get back into it. I love painting with actual paints. Nothing will ever really beat that. But when I'm out and about and I have my iPad with me, sometimes I just want to paint something, but I don't have my paints with me. So I think digital art and using Procreate is a great alternative. So I kind of want to go back to that and maybe come out with a updated set of brushes and maybe even come out with a set of gouache brushes. We shall see. Okay, I really like how this is turning out. I'm just checking the edges to make sure that, you know, there are enough elements right up against it so that when I erase the pencil line, it doesn't, like, you know, it keeps its shape. And if I feel like I need to add a little bit more, I will. And just with a really light value. And that's it. Let me go ahead and just wait for it to dry. And then I'm going to use a kneaded eraser. And this is just like gray rubber putty. I don't know what to call it, but it basically picks up just the graphite of the pencil and doesn't, you know, shave off parts of the paper. So this is really great for when you're sketching and you don't, you know, shaving off little bits of the paper is actually going to change the absorbency of the paper. So when you paint with watercolors, it might change the quality. So it's best to use a kneaded eraser. All right, so my painting has fully dried. I'm going to take that kneaded eraser and then just gently go over the edges. And you can either do a couple of things. You can kind of like smudge it, or you can literally just use it like an eraser and just rub back and forth. You just want to be a little bit gentle with it. And you know what? There's a little area that I didn't paint, so I'm just going to add a little element right there just to kind of connect the two sides. And again, just be gentle with it. And if you accidentally painted over the pencil line, which always happens to me, you might find it a little bit difficult to erase, and that's kind of normal. So that's why you want to really sketch it as lightly as you can. Okay, I think that one turned out really well. The 2 looks great. Let's go on to the 0. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Make sure to check out my other tutorials here on YouTube, or go to the Watercolor Garden if you want to take full-length courses from me. I have more than 15 courses to get you started. I love hearing from you, so please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below, and I'll see you next time.